Hello, YouTubers and all those who happen to watch. Hope you guys are all doing quite well. AC's in the background, nothing I can do about it. It's really hot in here. So, alright, this is sort of a video tag open for everybody who wishes to participate. Please be sure to put this as a video response if you choose to do so. Alright, if you can have one memory as a child growing up, it could be anything related to gaming. You know, anything you can remember. You cherished it. It was just something that made you so happy in the world. What was it? Now, I'll share mine, and it was when I attended my very first computer show. I can remember most things, and at the same time I can forget most things too. So, we're going to the computer show, and we're, going through there. My dad has a buck in his pocket. It was like 25 cents a person, I believe, the actual rate was, or something like that. Takes a buck out of his pocket, gives it to the guy. Guy gives him a ticket. We take the tickets, put them in our pockets, and gets his quarter back. Because it was three, me, my brother, and my dad. My brother's going through the store, like this area, like, ha, yeah, Sean beating himself. So, we're going through there. We're clinched together because this is quite a large building. It's like about half the size of a football field. It's not too large though. Quite a massive structure of a building. It's pretty much used for, parties, raffles, bingo hall kind of atmosphere. It's large though. The ceiling's quite high. And, this building is, off the highway, so you kind of go in this place. You don't think it's so big at first, but when you walk in and you're like, oh, it's quite big. It's like seeing your penis for the very first time. Oh, Bobby. So you generally go into this place, and the first thing you see is obviously you see a bunch of card tables everywhere. You see plastic card tables, card tables. Grandma at a card table with her knitting. No, I'm kidding. But generally just these displays and everything too. Like you have computers everywhere, and this room is just bright as fuck. And it's dim at the same time too, because of how bright these computer monitors are. You don't even need the lights. So, you go through this room, and you usually take a right. Everyone usually goes and takes a right. It's some formation, because you look at how these people are walking around, they're just straight to the right. And mind you, I'm like 5, 6, 7 years old, and I'm just walking around with my dad. My brother's just going, yeah, doing his typical goddamn thing. So, we're walking through, and the first thing I notice is, it's software, general things like micromanagement, screensavers, which was really popular back in the day, believe it or not. It was just people sell this stuff on, like, CDs and cassette tapes, and, not cassette tapes, diskettes, and these type of things here. And obviously the diskettes back in the day weren't quite this large, so they would go through and they would buy. You can go up these each one of these tables, and the person will try to sell you the product, or you can look on the table and see which one you want and just tell them what you want or show them what you want. They'll tell you the price, or it's a fixed rate on the entire table. You bought the disc and you went home. Now the discs usually had some, pre-made tape on there where it had, the name of the game, how to install it, which was like really brief command line there. You just look at the command line and you just type that in, and you were good to go on your computer. So it was very basic stuff, And one of the cubicles and one of the sections they had was actually adult oriented, like porn. And I remember it because I went to go look at it. My brother goes, because I didn't notice this at first. My brother goes, "Hey, Dan, look over there. Look over there, Dan. Look at those tits." And he didn't say tits, but he said, "Look over there. Look at that." So I look over. My dad notices for a split second what I'm about to look over in slow motion, like the Chariots of Fire are blaring. Doo, 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 doo. My dad's like, "Not today, little bastard." My neck almost comes snapping off because the impact of his grip. So, I don't see tit that day. So I basically dragged through the entire Because the way he set up the boutique, or the section, was the monitors are tilted a certain way. So if you would have to ask the person, they would let you in, and you could look at the product and see if you want to jerk off to this or not at home. So, you know, they had this adult-oriented stuff. They had computer games too, which was a lot of them. They had, you know, displays of 3D games, and you know, in 3D was a bunch of polygons. It really depends on which game displays it, because it can either look good or look horrible. And some of the games didn't look very good, especially today's standards. So I mean, it was just a cutting edge thing. They had flat panel monitors, touchscreen monitors, which, you know, was back in the day it was okay, I guess, but it wasn't, you know, quite a popular science. It was too expensive to produce. Unlike today, where you can get like touch screens and all that really cheap. Sorry, I got something in my freaking eye. Ah, that's annoying. So, yeah, you go through this entire place. You have these. You have these things too. You can actually put over your monitor, and it would actually like make it dimmer, so you didn't, you know, sunglasses or anything to look at your screen. And it really does help. Those do help your eyes and make sure you don't, like, you know, go freaking blind looking at your computer monitor. Really essential for most commercial businesses as well, I'm assuming, anyway. At the top of my cranium here. So, you know, they had games such as Dr. Brain and Commander Keen and all that. It was just a big, overwhelming rush of these games I've seen in, like, magazines or through BBSs, and you see them in real time being displayed through our monitor, and it was just awesome. So I remember we actually went home with a couple games. I believe the first one was the first Zargon, at least the first episode segment. Then it was a floppy, these are all floppies, by the way, floppy of Jill the Jungle 1. And I forgot what my brother got. He got something. Probably a hard-on from that adult-oriented one there, I don't know. Yeah, I don't get hard on from that. I went home and ate a pizza, okay? So, so generally we go home from that point on, but it was just that experience, that overwhelming experience, you know, being able to spend time with my dad. And you know, my dad wasn't truly interested in everything he was seeing there. He was just kind of, you know, exposing me to all this stuff, because he knows how I would stay home and kind of play this computer that he had. And he was like, oh, hey, he's kind of interested in this, so we'll take him out and go and see a bunch of these computers. So, you know, he fed the habit, you know. And, you know, we're allowed to pick out 1 or 2 games to the computer, and we're able to take it home and play it. So my brother, I think, had some allowance or from his paper route or something like that. That's how he got some of his disposable income. He didn't have a lot, but he had enough to buy a game or 2. So he bought a couple of games. I think my dad's like supported me a couple bucks to buy a couple games. So it was really cool. I mean, a lot of the people there were very nice. It was a very, you know, atmospheric thing. Just like now, how you have these people who do these retro shows. And you have, like, you know, Amigas out, or Commodores, or, you know, Atari STs, and, you know, all these older computers and video game consoles all displayed out at once, so you could be able to sit down and play all these things. And it was kind of like that, but it was really no computer game consoles, no Genesis, no Sega, none of that. It was just computers, strictly. And it was just a really, really, really cool time. I would have to say that over and over again. It was just something I wish I can go back in time, wear my Cher outfit, and I don't have a Cher outfit, I wish though. And you know, be able to experience that again, be able to see all that again, because it was just such an awesome, overwhelming feeling. I was like